Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It's your host Street Urchin. Some crazy how we've made it to 250 subscribers. My plans to take over YouTube is slowly but surely coming to fruition. So long as my attention span holds. My assistant told me I should also make my bed. And to also put more interesting stuff in the backdrop. I've lived a rather nomadic lifestyle. Generally, I don't keep things that can't fit into a 1995 Saturn. So if you have some suggestions about what I should have in the back, feel free to leave it in the comments. But starting this week off, I figured we'd do something to really rile up the other personality types by assigning arbitrary numbers to them in the form of RPG character sheets. I love RPGs. Anyone else like Dungeons and Dragons? Maybe? I was grounded a lot as a child. You might be able to imagine such a thing. So I actually ended up making pen and paper style RPGs long before I ever knew what Dungeons and Dragons was. My first attempt involved flipping a coin to see if things would happen. Rest in peace, Gary Gygax. You will be missed. Fortunately, I'm a merciful MBTI god, so in this video no stat should drop below 9, unless the type is really bad at it. A 10 is considered average, 12 is noticeably above average, 14 is high above, 16 is exceptional. I have a hard time putting anyone above that, as we all suck. No min-maxing here. Hopefully Wizards of the Coast doesn't come after me. Alright, who do we start with? ESFJ. Yes, your typical high school cheerleader. You know the one. A personality that focuses on group content and diplomacy. They have an above average ability to withstand most of people's nonsense, and have enough strength to still be relevant in physical activities. Average level of intelligence means they can read about your complaints and then explain to you how they know what's best for you. They can also apply their wisdom bonus to charisma checks for successfully applying rumors to a social group. ENFP is next. ENFPs are what I consider to be the people's champion. They enjoy going on crusades to uplift the downtrodden, using instinct to empathize and connect with the common folk. Their dexterity helps them move from project to project and feel things through the perspectives of others. They can sometimes be described as having a goldfish memory, contributing to the 9 wisdom. An overall above average stat line, but they must always sacrifice their desires in the pursuit of making a random person happy, so they take a penalty to XP gains. Get wrecked. Moving on to ISTJs. Mimicry is what this personality does best, hence the higher wisdom score for increased memory. They take a hit in dexterity for their lack of interest in art creation. Otherwise, the rest of their stats are fairly average. They do gain extra skill points for any of their chosen skills, but they must spend at least 10% extra gold every month on whatever their closest friends spend money on, so they can at least pretend to be cool. Now it's time for the INTJ. Gotta be careful with this one. As is typical with INTJs, they focus on their strength, knowledges, and ambition. The amount of garbage they feel they have to deal with keeps their constitution on the up and up, but most people can sense the aggressiveness, which puts them off, showing as a hit to the charisma. Hopefully you're attractive. INTJs receive the stubborn trait and have to roll 2 dice on diplomacy checks, taking the lower result. ESTPs are mentally tough. Getting them to lose their cool is a near impossible task. Even under immense pressure, they stay physically capable and can turn most technical tasks into an art form. They may even enjoy painting from time to time. Unfortunately, any quest they undertake must benefit them in some way, or it's automatically declined. Pondering abstract concepts for more than 5 seconds causes them head pain and must take 1d4 points of psychic damage. The ENFJ Succubus is up next. Their ability to pull people into their orbit is unmatched, with a charisma score of 16. A slight bump to strength as they tend to, keep up their physical appearance. When you look like a movie star, it's kind of hard for people to turn you down. ENFJs apply their charisma bonus twice to anyone they're trying to charm, and automatically succeed in being accepted into social groups. However, they're always accompanied by an entourage, and every journey costs 25% more gold. And now we have the ISFJs. Much like the ISTJ, their wisdom score is maxed out, so they enjoy or suffer their traditions and have excellent memories. They come with a slight boost to constitution for being vaguely more tolerant, and the preference for introverted thinking gives them that boost to intelligence score. ISFJs are required to bring cleaning supplies to all adventures, and suppressing their resting bitch face is a standard action, but they add their wisdom bonus to all constitution-related checks, believing they've been through worse. Time to stat up the super empath INFP. Artsy, empathetic. INFPs would be the bard of the group. Imagine them just playing a lute while singing awful poetry. It gives them a strong boost to dexterity, at the cost of strength. It just doesn't take a lot of physical ability to write your feelings in a journal. Thankfully, they still have good memory and know how to talk to people, usually attracting at least one white knight to defend them. INFPs roll 2 dice for empathy checks, choosing the higher result. However, they can never wield two-handed weapons. In case one hand gets hurt, they can still write Twilight fanfiction with the other. Oh, ENTJs. I still have Griffith fresh in my mind. The stat line is pretty good. They're at least above average in everything. An ENTJ usually dabbles in multiple things, even if it's only to find out what's most going to benefit them. They stay physically fit. It takes quite a bit more to get them tilted. They're intelligent enough to make sound decisions, and they can usually bribe people to get what they want. The downside? They're psychopathic and can never join a party with an ENTP. However, they're immune to an INFP's empathic abilities. ESFPs. Oh boy. This might have been a long time coming. If you've ever watched Vox Machina, Grog Strongjaw is the ESFP. Very strong, physically tough, and a lovable dope. Although their intelligence and dexterity takes a hit, their wisdom stays average and can remember such things as fire is hot and pointy end goes in bad guy. They have an increased charisma because even if they're being dumb, someone is going to find it entertaining. ESFPs apply their charisma bonus to their constitution checks if they do anything to hurt themselves, which should be often, but when being explained anything in detail, every third word is replaced with blah. Alright, let's throw in a treat for any of those still sticking around. The INFJ has some pretty good stats. They stay in shape, above average tolerance for garbage. They even come off as likable. Their lowest stat is wisdom, as it's maybe a bit harder for them to learn from past mistakes, but a good intelligence helps them come up with ways to stay on track. INFJs add their intelligence bonus to any dexterity checks that involve furthering their own ambitions, but has to roll twice on leadership checks, taking the lower result, as they're constantly being hamstrung by extroverted feeling and having a hard time relating to others. Weirdo. Back to normal, we got ESTJs. Remember your supervisor that only showed up to tell you, hey, you're doing that wrong? Or the grandpa that can only tell you stories for hours on end when you come to visit? That's your party's ESTJ. Very wisdom heavy, like the other introverted sensors. But they have a bent towards using the perspectives of others and then claiming credit for the success. +1 to dexterity. A bit more tolerant, although they are actively influenced by their traditions. ESTJs have a once daily use of story time. They can lull someone into a trance-like state for a number of hours equal to their wisdom bonus. INTP is up next. I suppose if the types were going to have a wizard, it'd be the INTP. INTPs, of course, epitomize the Aspergery genius at school. Lack of social skills, physical aptitude, but they make up for it with abstract thought, creative skills, and a keen memory. So they can learn many high-level spells, but they convey this aura of autism to allies. Any ally within its field of effect receives a negative penalty to persuasion and diplomacy, equal to the INTP's intelligence bonus. Thanks to my INTP friend from high school, I'm personally aware of its effects. Moving right along to the ISTP. ISTPs are a bit more glass cannon-y than other types. They have above average intelligence and really like to get their hands dirty, preferring physical options to conceptual ones. But it doesn't hinder them from making art out of empty beer cans or jury-rigging more complex problems. They have this suppressed emotional side, usually born from irritation that they can't often slice their way through social problems. ISTPs can activate beast mode a number of times per day equal to their dexterity bonus. However, they receive double the intelligence penalty for drinking alcohol. Second to last, we have the ISFP. Due to their preference for the physical, ISFPs have an above average strength. Gardens aren't going to plant themselves. And due to their love of fantasy, gain some dexterity for imagination and finger painting. They prefer quick solutions and not to dwell on any logical problems for too long. Their usually meek presence confers the hide in plain sight feat. However, they must stop and pray every time they come across a slain animal or cut down trees. They add their wisdom bonus to attacks whenever innocent life is harmed. Lasts for 10 minutes. Alright, the one most of you have been waiting for. We come to the ENTP. Was hard to decide if I should just troll this one and max out all the stats. Anyhow, ENTPs are similar to INTPs through their dexterity and intelligence, but they retain their charisma due to a lack of wisdom. My assistant has to remind me every hour on what things I need to be doing. Big shock. A high dexterity gives them access to unfiltered ideas, while their intelligence lets them feel superior to most other types. ENTPs add their intelligence bonus to persuasion checks, but only when trying to convince people of total bullshit. When listening to something they don't agree with, they must succeed on a difficult willpower check or immediately try to start an argument. I've rolled very poorly on that one, and that was my 16 personalities on character sheets video. It was mostly, probably, satire. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. Our goal is 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month, which is crazy, obviously, but you know, I'm crazy, so consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, I have more stuff on the way. and I'll see you next time. Bye!